Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you are all doing really well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. It's time for another Friday Flip, and as always, there will be a link to the Friday Flip series in the cards as well as linked down below. And you can also see various other playlists on my channel. Feel free to browse and let me know if you have any questions. So today what I'm going to be doing is flipping through these inserts, because I've had a couple of questions on what do these inserts look like before I start to fill them out. So you can kind of see, quote unquote, a naked version of them before I even start to work. This is the insert that I'm currently using, as I've shown in previous videos. This is a TN regular size. So you can kind of get a sense of the fact that these inserts that I'm using or that I've made myself in using this year are larger significantly than the regular TN. And this, I believe, is TN number 3 for this year. So it's almost done. There'll probably be a flip on this in the next week or two. As usual, there is this fabric TN cover that I made myself. My channel, you can see lots of videos on how I go ahead and use fabric to create my covers. Now, usually this sits in there, but since, during the time of Corona, I'm not going anywhere and sketching, so I basically keep them separate. So, as I said, this will be pretty soon over and moving on to the next one. So just so you can see what they look like before I start working in them. As always, these are a bunch of pages or papers from my stash that I fold in half and I stitch down the spine with a simple saddle stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes in them, and as usual, these have got wallpaper covers. I just love the colors of these, right? And on the inside, I basically have some cardstock, and I fold the wallpaper over so I can make a little pocket in the front and the back. Now, let's do a quick flip so you can see what it looks like. Nothing has been done to this other than the making of the insert itself. As I've said before, I prefer to work in individual inserts in my art journals so I don't have to deal with the hump, because they tend to get, as you can see, pretty thick. And if I choose to at the end of the year, I can always attach these in various ways so they are one bound book, right? So when I'm making an insert, I tend to do multiples because once you've got your supplies out, it just takes very little work to add additional inserts to the system. So variety of papers. There's watercolor paper, there's cardstock. So I'm going through a bunch of my cardstock because it's just been sitting there. There's music sheets. This particular one has got gesso on one side. There's some scrapbook paper, some drawing paper. Again, a bunch of different cardstocks, right? So you can see how this looks. And again, as I said earlier, this is basically where I start. It's just some blank paper that I fold in half and stitch together. Now, unlike some of the other inserts I've used this year, this does not have any graph paper or some Tomoe River paper, because what I'm trying to do is get through this supply of cardstock that I've got in my stash. So this is what you can see. I think these are about 18 sheets of paper folded in half. So each one of these inserts has got more pages than a regular TN does. So a regular TN is about 64 pages if you're looking at just the regular TN. And these ones are definitely more than that. So, this is what they look like. See, that's what I'm saying. When you start with an empty notebook, there's nothing special about it. It's just an empty notebook. Now, the thing I do like about making my own inserts is that I can add whatever papers I want in whatever combination I want. I do like that not everything lines up. I kind of like the layering look. If you see that spread, there's a whole bunch of layers that that show up when you're looking at an open spread, because they are not the same size papers in here. And again, if you take a look at my channel, you can see inserts that I've made before, and that I use really a variety of different kinds of paper. And I do like the scrapbook paper. I often think about using them as covers, but I just so love these wallpaper samples, it's kind of hard for me to resist, and I've got quite a bit of those in my stash, so I'm trying to get through those. So that's what this insert looks like. As you can tell, they're all pretty much very similar in style, because I think this of the three might be my favorite cover. I just love this paper. It's just so cool, right? So again, a bunch of papers in here. I'm trying to put black paper in. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that that's something that I'm always trying to figure out. How do I use black paper? What am I going to do with it? So I just wanted to do a quick flip. These are essentially the same. It's just, I think, slightly different order of how the paper or the pages appear, the color pages appear in the book. But, you know, because I was making them at the same time, they're essentially exactly the same other than the ordering. So that's what I have for you today. As I said, once the pages, the insert gets filled, and you can look at my playlist to see what happens once I start working on these. They don't look anything alike to each other, but they start out, when I make a batch, they start out almost identical. Okay, so that's what I have. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you make your own inserts, I'd love to hear how you do them, and do you do them in batch? I'm assuming that we all do, because your supplies are out, you might as well. Take care, and if you have questions or comments, let me know down below. Talk to you soon. Bye.